Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. The following is frequently asked questions on Ramadan and fasting. The intention inshallah is to do a two-part. So today inshallah we will cover some of those frequently asked questions, and thereafter inshallah tomorrow we will complete that which remains. So a very common question these days leading up to the month of Ramadan is, can a person follow a live virtual Taraweeh which is broadcasted online? So in terms of the Salatul Jumu'ah and the daily prayers and Salatul Taraweeh, when it's done in congregation, there's certain integrals and conditions which need to be in place. And one of those conditions is that the distance between the imam and those who follow has to be within a certain parameter. It cannot exceed a certain limit. And because although a person can hear and perhaps even see the actions and movements of the imam, but because that condition is not met and other conditions and considerations, it would not be permissible. It would not be valid to follow an imam virtually for Salatul Jumu'ah for that matter, or the daily salahs, and not for Taraweeh as well. That being said, still, alhamdulillah, it gives us the opportunity to revise those portions of the Quran, those surahs, which we can make strong, and we can make effort and make effort to try to recite those in the Salatul Taraweeh. This will inshallah prove beneficial for us and our families, and it gives us that opportunity. We also learn that, or we should keep in mind that whenever there's a male adult who is able to lead the prayer, then he will be the imam of the Salatul Taraweeh, and those behind him will follow. If there is a male who hasn't reached Islamic maturity but has reached the age of what is known as tamyiz, discerning from good and evil, he has the ability to discern his right hand from his left hand, he has a level of understanding, then that person, if he is a person of knowledge, of Quran, of recitation, and then that option of having him lead the Salatul Taraweeh would be there as well, as some of our fuqaha, some of our ulama have mentioned that the minor who has reached a certain level of maturity, not exactly Islamic maturity, he would be able to lead the prayer, the Salatul Taraweeh. Although the farad prayers, it's advisable, or it's a condition for some that only the adult male would be able to lead the rest of his family for those 5 daily prayers. That being said, if there is no male available, then a female adult can lead other females in salah, and minors under the age of 7 who haven't reached that age of tamyiz, of discerning. If there is a child who's, for example, at the age of 10 or 11 is not Islamically mature, a boy now, he wouldn't be able to lead or pray behind a female adult. The second question is, what is the number of rak'ahs in Taraweeh? Scholars have mentioned various numbers. Furthermore, at times, consideration of the length of the recitation was taken into account. So lengthier recitation would mean less rak'ah, while short recitation would mean more rak'ah. The established practice and accepted view among the 4 schools of fiqh has been 20 rak'ah, and this has also been the practice in the Haramain, in Mecca Mukarramah and Medina al-Munawwara, that they have been reading 20 rak'ahs till this day. Prominent scholars of the Salaf held the view that the number of rak'ah was either flexible or was 8. As a side note, one should try to offer as much as prayer as possible during the days and nights of Ramadan. Our third question is, when can a traveler break their fast or not fast at all? If one is able to fast, then this is preferable. The traveler that is not able to do so has the option not to fast. Although these days it's perhaps unlikely that anyone would be traveling, but if anyone is in this circumstance and just knowing the mas'ala, the issue, inshallah, then you should keep the following in mind. So if the person commences the journey after Fajr has set in, it is unlawful for him or her to break the fast. And if he or she breaks it, its making up for will be obligatory upon the person. This is according to the majority of scholars. The Hanabila, the Hanbali school, hold the view that allows a fasting person, once he has been considered to be a Shari'i Islamic traveler, to open his fast even though he has commenced his journey only sometime after Fajr. If I eat forgetfully, does my fast break? No, it does not break the fast according to the majority of scholars. This is provision that Allah has provided. Yes, once a person remembers, then they will refrain from eating. However, according to the Malikiyya, the Maliki school, this specific Ramadan fast must be made up after. How sick do I need to be to break my fast? Most of the scholars, including the four great Imams of fiqh, are of the view that the sick person is not allowed to break his fast in Ramadan unless the sickness is severe. What is meant by severe sickness is, number one, the sickness will be made worse by fasting. Number two, recovery will be delayed by fasting. Number three, fasting will cause intense hardship even if it does not make the sickness worse or delay recovery. And lastly, the scholars also included those who fear that they may become sick because of fasting. This can also be confirmed with a righteous Muslim physician. If no such Muslim is in one's locality, then a qualified physician that appreciates the importance of the sacred law for Muslims is sufficient. There can be various scenarios with the type of sickness. It is best to consult the Imams and people of knowledge, scholars, in connection to the specifics. And our last question, inshallah, for today is, do pregnant or breastfeeding women have to fast? One only leaves fasting due to pregnancy or nursing if there is a good reason to fear harm for the mother or baby based on experience, or reliable Muslim medical opinion, or a non-Muslim's medical judgment that confirms for one that there is good reason to fear harm, or clear and unmistakable signs. What one should do is attempt to fast while taking the means to be able to, in terms of fulfilling one's nutritional and other needs in the night hours. Then, if one finds any undue difficulty therein, one should stop. If this happens a few times, one can assume one is unable to fast unless circumstances change. Inshallah, we will be looking at the remaining frequently asked questions in Ramadan tomorrow. So this is inshallah part 1, and tomorrow will be part 2, and that will complete inshallah that list of questions which we have access to at this time. Jazakumullah khairan wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.